This year, 2025, there are a lot of rules that has changed regarding the submission of your J1 waiver, especially if you are a teacher with 212E rule. What are they and what are the things that we can do in order for us to become successful with our J1 waiver based on our own experience? In this video, we are going to talk about that. So let's dive in and let the journey begin. Hello everyone, good day. My name is Emmary. Welcome to Powerful Couple Journey, where we talk about immigration process, especially with the J1 waiver. If you are a teacher from your home country, just like the Philippines, please feel free to watch the whole entire video. That way you would understand the complexity of the J1 waiver. A lot of the teachers from the Philippines are hoping to come here in the US to teach, one of which is the J1 visa program. When it comes to the J1 visa, you are really getting that visa stamp that has a 212-year rule to your home residency requirement. But how about if you are single or widowed and you found the love of your life here in the US? Then you can submit your exceptional hardship waiver through your US citizen spouse once you get married. Before, there are changes that had happened in the year 2021, and we had been successful in filing our papers through do-it-yourself process. This year, 2025, there are also changes, but it works in the favor for those that are getting married or married already filing for their J1 waiver. Like for example, if you are single prior to getting married, same with your spouse, just like me and William in the year 2021, then this video might be for you, and hopefully this will be helpful in your J1 waiver journey. Once you have already all the information layout, example, you already have your joint bank account, even though you already had like $50 in it, that's okay as long as you started putting your money there together. Then you use that for certain important things that you are using for your finances, like your groceries, your rent, also your phone bills, car insurance, anything that could show commingling. Put that one in your joint bank account. You will always use that money monthly anyways, so why not have that one stipulated in a bank statement that you can use in your financial hardship, and those will be your evidences. Next, if you and your spouse has already car loan together, you can also use that one as your evidences. Then you can start your psychological evaluation. If not, you can find if your spouse has psychological evaluation or assessment prior to getting married. That way, you already had this established assessment that you can use in the near future. Also, if your spouse has medical condition or mild condition because of the anxiety that he or she knew that will happen when it comes to the process of the J1 waiver, because whether we like it or not, it will take you 2 years before it will be approved. Then put that one into consideration, and then he or she might ask your medical doctor or his or her medical doctor. That way they can put that one into writing, and then you can use that one to add to your evidences when it comes to medical hardship, emotional hardship, psychological hardship, all in one. If you had all these evidences, then you can start filing your papers. If not, you can accrue this along the process. It is very important to submit your Form I-130, Petition for Alien Relative. It has nothing to do with a waiver, but why should we submit Form I-130 first? The reason for that is it might take a year and 6 months before it will be processed to be approved. Remember, if you are married to your US citizen spouse, it will be automatically approved, not unless your spouse has criminal records or he or she cannot support you here in the United States of America. What are the supporting details that you can put aside from your marriage certificate? Your spouse needs to submit The Form 864, which is the affidavit of support, if they can support you by themselves here in the US, or if they need another member of the family here in the US that could help you with the paperwork that is needed. All of the forms are in the USCIS.gov. You just have to read and be patient with all of the information there because it's already been laid out. But if you feel like you are very overwhelmed with the process, don't forget we have J1 Waiver Helping Hands group through our Facebook group. Just agree to group rules and I, as your admin, will accept you immediately. Also, remember your Form I-130 has nothing to do with your waiver. So submit that one first, either online or you can do it paper filing. In our case, in the year 2021, we filed through online with our evidences like marriage certificate, the employment of my husband, his taxes, his important affidavit of support. At the same time, we have pictures of our wedding together. So you can use that as your evidences. And then you need to print the Form I-130 with a signature of your U.S. citizen spouse and then mail it through USPS, FedEx, UPS, whatever courier that you might have. Always have a tracking number because that will help you track your mail if they have submitted it and it went to the USCIS service center or not. Make sure you can pay extra for that. That way, if you feel like you wanted it to be secured, then a tracking number is a way to go. Now, let's dive deep to Form I-612. This is the foreign waiver. This is what you have to submit to the USCIS in order for you to convince them that there is really a hardship on the case of your spouse. Like, for example, if you choose the type of the hardship, which is exceptional hardship to your U.S. citizen spouse, then you can establish this with hardships like emotional hardship, psychological hardship, medical hardship, career hardship, educational hardship, your home country. If you feel like your home country could bring a lot of negative impact to the life of your U.S. citizen spouse, you can add that one as well, like crime, poverty, corruption in your home country, and or the type of living you have that is not used to what he or she has here in the US. Let's face it, in your home country, even though you feel like it's already been a good place for you, how about for your US citizen spouse? Do you think he or she could endure the place? So make sure you write that one as well. Include with compelling evidences like news from your home country, or what is the gross domestic product or GDP that you have there, or evidences like crime about foreign nationals in your home country, corruption or poverty, that will convince the US immigration officer handling your case that it will be very detrimental to your US citizen spouse if they will accompany you to your home country. Remember this, your foreign waiver has two things to put in mind. Number one, if you will have to go back to your home country while your US citizen spouse will stay here in the US while you are going to fulfill your 2-year rule home residency requirement. What should be the scenario? How should it impact extremely to your US citizen spouse? Number two, you have to show evidences if you will bring your US citizen spouse to your home country. What will be the scenario? How could it impact your US citizen spouse and how hard it is for him or her to live the life he used to for 2 years in the US while he will have to live with you for 2 years because you need to fulfill the 2-year rule. So think of that in your mind. Think of all the scenarios and put that one into writing. You can start by outlining, or if you wanted to know our way on how we do it ourselves, you can visit POWELLFULCOUPLEJOURNEY.com with our website. That way you can see our J1 waiver bundle where it has all the evidences, statement of reasons, the affidavit that we have, cover letters, letters from friends and family, and all of the evidences that we came up with our case. That means we were able to convince our immigration officer and the waiver review division officer that our case is very strong enough to show exceptional hardship to my U.S. citizen spouse. Once you have your Form I-612 put up together, please, I'm begging you, this happened to one of the J1 teachers that reached out to me. They have submitted appendixes. It's not wrong to have appendixes whenever you have your paperwork, but please don't put them in 20 yellow envelopes. That is too much. What you can do is you can have tabs, and the papers that you have there should be at least 200 or 500 pages. That's not even wrong as long as you have the tabs, as long as you know that once you say that this is detrimental to your U.S. citizen spouse and the evidences is shown in my evidence on the crime and poverty in my home country, like for example in the Philippines, and then you have the tab that they can just look at, then it's very helpful for them. You don't want your immigration officer or waiver review division officer to look at your papers and then open that yellow envelope that says evidence on this one. Just like a school teacher, you don't want to have a lot of envelopes for you to see and then open it up, right? So make sure you think as the immigration officer looking, reading at your paper. How can you convince them on your paper? How can you make it easier for them to look at your evidences and read through your letter? That way, you can really convince them that this is really for your U.S. citizen spouse and you are presenting to them a very good and strong winning case. Once you submit your Form I-612 foreign waiver, make sure you also make a copy for yourself. Like for example, if you submit it today, you can wait a day or two for your DS-3035. Or some of our J1 teachers, they first submit their DS-3035 to the Department of State. All you need to do is go to their website and then look at the DS-3035 process, because they have two ways to do that. First, you need to go online. They will produce a barcode and make sure your statement of reason is in point. Then make an affidavit that you have all the supporting evidences that is laid out the same as the Form I-612. Again, the same as the Form I-612, because the Department of State and the USCIS work hand in hand with the Form I-612 and the DS-3035 for your paperwork. Make sure that you have a separate copy as well for your DS-3035, even though it's almost the same with the Form I-612, because we have one school teacher that mistakenly put the DS-3035 with the address of the Form I-612, thinking that they're the same. The answer is no. Please be careful and follow the paperwork that they're giving you, because that is the way that you will handle the case properly, especially if you are compelled to do it yourself. If you have all the grounds to do it, then you're good to go. Make sure that you can wait for this. The agony of waiting is too much. But what are the things that we can do while waiting for our papers? First things first, think ahead. You might get an RFE or request for evidences with your Form I-612. The reason for that is the USCIS might give you an initial review of your papers that says, we are not fully convinced that there is a financial hardship in your case, but if you can show us this, then it will be possible for you. And remember, with the Form I-612, they first ask you, do you have your waiver? Yes or no. Be honest with that and says no. And then on your affidavit, make sure you also have to say there that you are working with your waiver through the DS-3035 submitted and the Form I-612. That way, your waiver review division officer and or your Form I-612 U.S. immigration officer knows that you are working with your paperwork, and then they already had an idea that Form I-612 and DS-3035 work hand in hand. So think in advance, that way you know the process. And then if they ask you for like one or two evidences, do not just focus on that. Give them more evidences. Like for example, if you and your spouse have accumulated a rental property or a house together or a mortgage, then put that one into paper, make sure you make a copy, and then submit that one as your extra evidences. Or better, if your spouse give a will, just like what I have, photocopy that one, notarize copy, that is very important, then submit that one with your new evidences through the request for evidences that you have. Remember, the more evidences and the more statement you have that is very strong towards the extreme hardship that you submitted, it is very helpful. Next, with the DS-3035, you will have to wait 2 to 3 months before it will be stipulated with their online portal. The agony of waiting will be too much for you, but remember, there are already people just like me who endure the same pain, but we have succeeded this because we have faith in our Lord Jesus Christ, and we make sure that we know our paperworks are right in order. Remember, you will have the Form I-612 and the Form I-613 to the DS-3035 online portal once your Form I-612 is case on hold. And it's very good. Once you have a case on hold, it's just showing that the USCIS has found a hardship on your case. They're just waiting for the Waiver Review Division through the Department of State to give their advisory opinion regarding your extreme hardship. I know the USCIS is the final department that will give you that approval notice through the Form I-797, but they still need the Department of State to give their statement through the DS-3035 with a favorable recommendation. First, favorable recommendation, you need that for your DS-3035. Then you will get an approval notice with your Form I-612 after 2 weeks to 6 weeks of waiting. Just have to have faith. Again, once you start your waiver, there's no turning back. As much as possible, do not go home from the start of filing to the end of filing, which is a year or two. Most likely, it's going to be 1 year to 9 months. So be patient and learn the process. Case on hold. Once you receive a case on hold, this is the time for you to submit your Form I-485 and your work permit through your Form I-765. There are a lot of papers that you can submit to, like Form I-131, which is the travel document, but it's really up to you if you wanted to go on that route. There are plenty of forms you have to submit to, and this is very important. Once you submit your Form I-485, make sure you submit your medical records through Form I-693. This is the new rule now in 2025. If you don't have your Form I-693 together with your Form I-485 when you submit, they might deny you right away. Remember to read the USCIS bulletin all the time, or as much as possible, you have your case tracker. That way you know how your papers have been able to process with the USCIS and Department of State. With the USCIS, get your case number. Then with the Department of State, also get your case number through the barcode, which has the paperwork you can get with their online filing. Remember, there is an agony of waiting, we know that, but make sure you know the process. Again, all the evidences that we have can be seen in our J1 waiver bundle. If not, just go and check our checklist. It has been very helpful to a lot of our J1 teacher friends that are looking for ways on how to do their waiver through do-it-yourself process. Again, this is not easy and this is not for everyone. Not unless you are single prior to getting married, or your US citizen spouse is single now prior to getting married, or has prior divorces but they already finished all their paperwork and you can just have stipulate everything there. I even have a J1 teacher who is a widow and the partner is also divorced. They can do it themselves. The only thing is, do you have the courage to do it? Do you have the tolerance to do it? Do you have the pain, the agony of waiting that is really telling you that you can do it despite of all the challenges? Remember, once you start your waiver, it is like doing your 2-year rule to your home country. It takes 1 year to 9 months to 2 years of waiting. Some of our J1 teachers have received an NOID, including myself, which is the Notice of Intent to Deny. At first, I am so afraid that I might get denied, but then I'm so thankful I already have my favorable recommendation from the Department of State, and I already got an approval with my Form I-612. All I need to do is to submit that paperwork through the USCIS online. But then, it depends on you. If you are still in the process, you can write a letter to the USCIS telling them to hold your papers because you are still working on your paperwork through the DS-3035 and waiting for their favorable recommendation. Please pray for your immigration officer because they are the one who handles your case, and it is very important to make sure that you put all of your answers, all of your evidences through your paperwork. You don't have anything else to do but convince them with your letter, with your evidences, with your different kinds of forms you submitted. So make sure you do it on your own, but you reach out to the people you know of that already has the expertise and at the same time the knowledge on how to do the submission of the foreign waiver. This is Emmary. I'm going to help you with all of your questions. Please leave a comment below. That way we can discuss all of your questions or reach out to us through email, powerfulcouple@gmail.com. That way we could give you insights on how to do this. It is very important to reach out. That way you will not be stuck or you're not going to be alone. Remember this, even though if you have your immigration lawyer, there's no guarantee for you to get a favorable recommendation and an approval notice through Form I-612. There are a lot of J1 teachers that I know of personally through J1 Waiver Helping Hands group. They got denials with their Form I-612, and it is very, very expensive to hire a lawyer. But they don't lose hope. They reach out and they got ideas from those who already has a green card from a J1 teacher with 212 rule. Now they are thinking of other ways on how to combat their denial letter through a motion to appeal. It really depends on you on what phase you are now. Make sure you reach out. I am Emmary and willing to help you with the process. As a recap, you can start submitting your waiver process through Form I-612, DS-3035, then wait for your case on hold before submitting your Form I-485, your Form I-765, and proceed with all the process for you to adjust your status. This is Emmary. Please give us a like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and please click the notification bell to learn more about the videos that we are going to be sharing here through our YouTube channel. Thank you so much. God bless and see you on my next video. Have a great day.